Hello out there. Hopefully you can hear me okay. You can hear my voice and you can hear my guitar. There we go. Awesome. All right. Hello, Fred from Michigan. The first one up tonight. That's awesome. Hey, AR. Hey, Ken. Hey, Howard. Texas. Hi from Sydney. Oh, my goodness. What time is it in Sydney? And Croatia, Ohio, Michigan, New Jersey, UK. New Jersey. Oh, my goodness, guys. Tom from San Diego. Hey, David. Hey, Randy. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Mike. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Larry. Hey, Rob. Oh, my goodness. It's awesome you guys are all here. There are just a ton of people. Northern Ireland. Oh, my goodness. What time is it there? You guys are hardcore. Panama City. Upstate New York. Is the snow gone now? Are you guys moving around all right? North Carolina. Indiana, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma. God, it's so awesome you guys are all here. This is great. Okay, well, guys, we're going to get started. Awesome. So awesome that you guys are here. Thank you so much for coming to the webinar. Let me know. I've got some upgrades coming in the near future here that's going to help my internet signals as well. I made the incredibly smart move to a very small town that has a limited amount of internet access. So that's kind of posed a problem for me with my internet speeds. So we'll do the best we can here, okay? All right, so here we go. First thing we want to do is just welcome you to this webinar. What we're going to be doing is talking about 5 things that you really need to be thinking about in your solos, okay? And this is all going to tie in as we keep going here. I'm going to talk about a product that I have called Solo Fire, which I'm hoping you'll be as excited about as I am. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done for GuitarZoom. So Dale here again. Awesome. Is on your birthday. Dale, happy birthday. Are you guys able to see me okay? Is everybody okay to see me? Gonna make sure you can see me fine. Awesome. Awesome, everybody. Okay, Matt, can you see me okay? Yep, okay, awesome. Awesome, thank you. All right, perfect. All right, thank you. I got to talk to Matt over here on this computer while I'm talking to you over here. So, okay. Awesome. So it looks like for most of you, I'm working pretty good, which is awesome. I'll do the best I can. I'll try and talk slow, and so we'll go from there. Yeah, and if you need to, you can hit the reconnect button at the bottom of the window if you're having some problems. Okay, but just do the best you can for me. Okay. I am also recording this on, it's live right now on Periscope. So if you find it easier to kind of watch on there, you could stay live here with me and you could jump on Periscope and you could see it there as well. Now, that might be a little bit better too. But yeah, reconnecting helps. Thank you, Dan. It does. Reconnecting helps a little bit. So anyway, guys, let's get started. The first thing, and you're going to be getting a packet from me at the end of this webinar that has all the things that we're going to be talking about. All of it's going to be there, okay? So Markham says, you've got Japanese movie mouth delay syndrome. Yeah, you know, it's funny because I'm watching myself on the screen right now, and I can see that. So let me try this. Hi! No, I don't know. So anyway, here we go. Okay. Matt, what is it? Can you tell me what that bonus is, Matt? I'm waiting for Matt to tell me what your bonus is if you stay to the end. Well, you don't know. Well, I need someone to tell me what that is. So there's going to be a bonus at the end of this webinar. So please stay until the end. It's only going to be an hour long. I'm not going to take all your day, especially since some of you are from far, far away, and it's probably 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So I appreciate that, and I'm not going to take any more time than I need to. You guys are hilarious. I'm going to have to go back and read all these chats later. So, Bob, if you're having problems, try and reload. Okay. So Bob may be winning. Okay, anyway, let's get started. I got to get you guys going here. Okay, so, oh, it's a surprise. The bonus is a surprise. Let me tell you what I'm in charge of. I'm in charge of smiling and strumming. That's what I'm in charge of. So here we go. I'm going to share this with you. The first thing I'm going to do, we've got 5 things we're going to talk about today. The first one I labeled See Your Path. Juan, this will be recorded. Okay, you'll be able to watch this later. Okay, see your path, and what I mean by that, this is, in all seriousness, guys, this is really important. One of the number one things that I see that people do wrong when it comes to guitar playing is that they don't know their fretboard as well as they should. Okay, now that can mean a number of different things, whether it's notes, chords. What we're going to talk about is scales, because we're talking about soloing. So if we just started with something really, really easy in musical terms, like the pentatonic scale, okay? The pentatonic scale, we all learn how to play this first position. Okay, and we learn how to play that, and we learn how to solo some and whatever, but the biggest problem that we have is that we don't learn to master the entire fretboard. That's really, really important for you, because your musical freedom starts with what you see. If you think about when you first started learning how to play guitar and you knew how to play like 5 chords, you couldn't see scales, right? You couldn't see arpeggios and all that stuff, so you did not play them, okay? The same thing is true for all of this stuff. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mark. I'll get to that. Okay. So anyway, what we need to work on, guys, everybody, is mastering how well we visualize our fretboard. It is so, so, so important. Let me give you an example. If I was going to be playing and I was going to be in the key of A, I like to use the key of A a lot. That way I'm always consistent on what I'm talking about. Okay. So if I knew this first position, I'm going to get kind of bored after a while. I mean, I can make up a lot of stuff there, but after a while, I'm going to get bored. And the big thing here is to start learning what I call the X and Y axis theory, okay? And in the course that we're going to be talking about a little bit, this Solo Fire, we talk about that, okay? You want to start moving from just playing vertically to being able to play horizontally. It's really, really important. So, yeah, Death Metal Records says you don't know what you don't know, which is absolutely the truth. So if I'm soloing in the key of A minor pentatonic, we're just going to keep it easy right now, and I go, whatever it might be, I have the ability, the freedom, and the confidence to move around the fretboard in any way that I see fit. And this is really, really, really important for you to understand, because this is the one thing I tell every player ever, okay? When you're in your room and you're practicing and there's no disturbances, nobody's watching you, you're doing your own thing, you are at 100% of your ability at that point in time, okay? If all of a sudden you get together with some other players, or you're going to play on stage, or you're going to go jam with somebody on stage, you know, at a jam night or something, as soon as your nervousness kicks in a little bit, your confidence starts going down. And your ability starts going down as well. And you have to think about that, because in the real world, you're only as good as you are when you're with other human beings, right? Because what I hear a lot when I'm teaching is people will go, well, yesterday I was able to do this really well, and now I get into my lesson and I can't do that. That's exactly right. That's exactly what happens. So what you need to do, can you guys, for some of you, well, I guess they can't see me or hear me anyway, so just remember, you need to be able to reboot, relog in, like Matt says, if you can't see me very well. So that's one thing I want you guys to think about. Really, really important is being able to move across the fretboard with confidence, okay? So when you're set up with A minor pentatonic, and again, the scale doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we're going to be doing. You need to be able to play with confidence as you move. And here's a great technique that you can practice. You could take a jam track in a key that you like, or you're working with, right? That's something else I should say really quick. Every key is not equal, Okay, the key of G is not equal to the key of B flat. Okay, the keys that you need to work on the most are the ones that you play in the most. Yes, it'd be in an ideal world, we want to know all 12 keys and all the notes and all the theory. Absolutely. Okay. But the truth is, you only have a limited amount of time each day, and you're only going to have so much time before you die. So the trick is, you've got to be able to make sure that you're working on the things that are most applicable to your world. If you're a metalhead and you play in E all the time, you need to learn your stuff in E. If you're a rocker and you play in the key of A all the time, you need to learn the key of A. If you're, a pop rock person and you play, cowboy chords like G, C, and D all the time, you need to make sure that you're learning how to play in those keys. So really, really, really important that you do that, okay? So that's the first thing, is developing massive mastery of your fretboard with whatever it is, chords, scales, certainly in this case. And as you move into playing diatonic scales, it's going to be the same thing, okay? You're limited by what you don't know or what you're not mastered in, what you're not completely confident in, okay? And I'm saying this, I'm going to move on because I don't want to bore you, but I'm speaking from personal experience, because I spent many years learning how to play, and I never really had a grip on my fretboard. I pretended like I did, but I just didn't. So guys, you got to get a grip on it, even if it was only a couple of positions. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me share my screen with you. Make sure you guys can see it. There it is. And there it is. Okay. Okay, can you all see this screen? Okay, let me know if you can see that, okay? Okay, let me know if you can see that. I'll just wait. Okay, awesome. Great. Okay, you all can see it. So awesome. Thank you so much for responding. Okay, so what you're looking at are the 5 pentatonic positions, and this is something I'm going to be sending you, okay? There's our 5 pentatonic positions laid out, and then we see on the bottom of the screen, we see them all connected together, okay? That's what I'm talking about. That diagram on the very bottom, that's what I want you to be able to see from 0 fret all the way up to 21 or 22 or 24, whatever you got. Okay, you've got to be able to see that. And what I want to do, like with Solo Fire, the course I'm talking about today, I want to teach you how to be able to do that. I want to teach you how to connect those together, so this is no longer an issue. Okay, you can't fill up your brain with 5,000 different guitar licks and not know how to put them together. You got to get it together. Okay, you got to be able to put those together. And again, I'm sorry if it's a little bit blurry. I'm doing my best with this thing. So okay, so that's the first thing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and I'm going to change this here. There we go. Okay, the next category, everybody, that we're going to be talking about, yeah, and Death Metal Records says this. He says, your guitar needs to be in tune and in tune with itself. If not, you will fool your ear, and he is so right. And we're going to be getting to that in just a minute when we start talking about some human elements. Thank you, buddy. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to move on to step number 2, okay? Can this diagram be put into the membership course? We have a number of different diagrams like that, and there's a lot of stuff coming out in the membership course, and one of them deals with scales too. There's all kinds of stuff, buddy. Yeah, so yeah, it's all coming your way. So the second thing is technique. This is category number 2, and again, we're going to be talking about all of this in the Solo Fire course that we're going to be offering today for a special price. So the second step is understanding that not everybody wants to be a chop monster. And I don't think I can make this any larger, guys. Let me see if that might work a little bit better. Can you see that a little bit better, everybody? That might work better for you. Okay. So technique. And by technique, I don't just mean how fast you can play. What I mean is how accurate you are when you try and execute something. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me know that that's working better for you, okay? So the trick is, in my opinion, is that you've got 3 different elements that you need to practice on a daily basis. Number 1 is your left hand strength, or your fretting hand strength. Okay, if you play left-handed, it might be different, but the strength of these 4 guys right here. Okay. God gave you 4 fingers to be able to play guitar. So each one of these are worth 25%. Okay. If you're one of those players that doesn't really use your pinky for anything, you're going to have less options for things in a general sense. Okay. Now that doesn't mean if if you're missing a pinky or something, you can't still learn how to play incredibly well. You absolutely can. But what I'm saying is if you're up for the challenge to start trying to develop these 4 fingers, this is a great exercise for you to start working on. And I call it the 20-second exercise. And if you're really, really strong, you can do 30 seconds. So if you've got your guitar handy, grab your guitar and let's get ready to play. Tell me if you got your guitar in hand and you're ready to rock out, okay? You on Periscope too, grab your guitar and we're going to get miserable for about 2 minutes here, okay? We are going to work our butts off. That way, when I go upstairs to eat pizza after this is over, I won't feel so bad about the fat I'm eating. Okay, so we got our guitars. Here we go. So what I want you to do, if you've never done this before, you got to put everything you got into this. Okay, then you got to tell me how you did. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the 3rd, just like it shows on there, we're going to go to the 3rd string, 5th fret. Okay, so put your first finger on the 3rd string, 5th fret. Okay, now what we're going to do once we start, let me explain to you how this whole thing's going to work, and you can't stop. Don't lie to me, because I'll know. Actually, I won't, but you can't stop. So let me show you what we're going to be doing, okay? We're going to be hammering the middle finger onto the 6th fret as hard and fast as we can. So we're going to smack that finger down, and then we're going to pull it off. Not just lift it off. You got to pull it off to keep the sound going. If you just lift it off, the one that's going across the page, John, means that it's all legato. You're not going to pick anything. You're not picking anything, okay? So, Larry, if you can't see me, you can I don't know what Matt called it, reset or reboot or restart or something. So what you're going to do, guys, you got to get ready, okay? Don't waste your energy because this is going to suck by the time we get done. So you're going to be doing this. Okay, now here's the trick. We're going to do that together for 20 seconds. Yeah, you're going to refresh. Thank you. We're going to do that together for 20 seconds without stopping. You're going to hit it as hard as you can. You're going to flick that finger off as fast as you can. And you're going to keep doing it like this. Now, don't do it yet. Save your energy. Okay, now here's what we're going to be doing. For 20 seconds, we're going to do that. And when we get done, we're going to leave that first finger where it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our 3rd finger onto the 7th fret of the 3rd string. So we're just moving from the middle finger to the ring finger, and we're going to keep going. AR, try refreshing. And then we're going to do that for 20 seconds, and then we're going to move to the pinky on the 8th fret without stopping, as hard and fast as we can. Okay, now don't waste yourself because we're almost ready. Then we're going to set the middle finger down on the 6th fret. Make sure you're doing this with me. So our first finger is now done. We're done with the first finger. Now we're going to do hammer-on and pull-offs from the middle finger to the 3rd finger from 6th to 7th fret. And then we're going to go middle finger to pinky from 6th to 8th fret. Yep, you guys see music right now because I'm talking. Just hold on one second. Okay, let me actually take this back off, guys, so you can all see me. Thank you for reminding me. There you go. So here's what I'm doing, guys. I'm going from 5 to 6. Then without stopping, 5 to 7. Then without stopping, 5 to 8. Then without stopping, 6 to 7. And then 6 to 8. And then without stopping, my ring finger goes down and I go to the pinky. Okay? So 5 to 6, 5 to 7, 5 to 8, 6 to 7, 6 to 8, and then 7 to 8. You got to do the whole thing. Don't punk out on me, okay? You guys all ready? Is everybody ready? We're going to do this together. I'm going to let you know when you can stop, okay? You got to do it until it burns. So by the time you get to the end, your third finger and your pinky is just going to be in pain. So is everybody ready? Let me know if you're ready. I love doing this. Okay, cool. Everybody's ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, go. Trill, 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 trill. Keep going, as hard as you can, as fast as you can. 20 seconds. Keep going. Keep going, everybody. Okay, now we're going to shift to the third finger. Hard and fast, as hard and fast as you can. Keep going, don't tire out, keep going. Now you're going to go to the pinky. Keep going as hard and fast as you can. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Okay, now put your middle finger down and go to your third finger. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. People are swearing at me. Okay, go to your pinky. Middle of pinky, middle of pinky. Keep going. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Now go to third finger and pinky. Finish it out as hard as you can, even if you're not getting sound. Okay, all right. So anyway, that's the point is you'd be surprised at how if you started doing that a couple of times a day, you'd get strong. Okay, now let me give you some hints in case this is as far as you ever go with this, okay? So you do that, you get done, you stretch out, okay? You have got to stretch these muscles out, okay? So you stretch those out. See how I'm doing that? Just stretch out, relax, okay? When you're done, you can massage these muscles, and it's okay to do that. You're a guitar player. These are the things we do. I'm getting a lot of hate chat here. Okay, so when we get done, now here's the other thing you can do. You could do that a couple of times a day, but let me show you something else that you could do with that same idea. So maybe tomorrow you come back and understand if you always start with 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 and that sort of thing, okay? Nope, I wasn't strumming with my right hand. All I do is when I'm doing this, let's see, Peter, when I'm doing this, I'm holding the strings. So they're not making noise when I do this, so you can hear the sounds that I'm making. So that's what I was doing, okay? And we talk about hammer-ons and pull-offs and all that stuff in Solo Fire, so don't worry about it. We've got all that covered if you've never done those sorts of things before. But here's what I'm saying is when you get done, don't always start with 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, because those are your strong fingers. Sometimes you start with just this. Maybe one day you just do third to pinky. See how I can do it a lot faster now because my muscles are warmed up? See that? So for me, these are imperative for me to practice before I go out on stage, those sorts of things to get my hands warmed up. I won't do them 30 seconds before I go out on stage. I'll do them about 30 minutes before I go out on stage. That way I got time to stretch, all those kind of things. But my point is there's a ton of different kinds of technique elements, guys, that you can practice. But my point is you got your left hand or your fretting hand, your right hand or your strumming hand. You got to develop down, up, picking, all that kind of stuff. And then we've got the synchronization between those. And in Solo Fire, we're going to be talking about all three of those things, okay? Getting you set so every day you've got a great little technique regimen that you can run through to get yourself better ready. Let's see here. Where is it best to have the thumb? Well, my hands are really small, but when I've got my thumb back there, if you can see me here, I'll get out of the space here. My thumb's back here. You see? Then when I go to bend and stuff, I'll get into a blues stance like this. This is how I'll do my bends. But when I'm playing stuff like I was just doing, my thumb's way back here. But please remember, please remember my hands are small. You might be a little bit different. And I'm hearing a lot of people talk about their pinky being weak. And these two fingers suck for everybody. I think every human on the planet. These are the ones that need the most work. Okay. These guys are good. This one in conjunction with those is pretty good. These guys are horrible. Okay. So that's something to think about a little bit when you're practicing this. All right. So we're going to move on now. Let's see. So we talked about that. Left hand, right hand, synchronization. Those things are all in Solo Fire. And if you wind up not purchasing Solo Fire, those are the three things that you really should be trying to focus on a daily basis, guys. Okay? Matt's having problems with his pinky too. Oh, you guys, you cracked me up. Okay, so the next section is section number 3, and I'm going to share my screen again, and I'll remember to take it back off. Okay? Human elements, guys. Human elements. Let me share my screen with you really quick, and then I'll take it back off so y'all can see me again. There we go. And there's a bunch of different stuff in this booklet. When you get this from us on your email, you're going to have all kinds of stuff there that you can practice. There's a lot more than I'm going to be able to talk about in an hour. But so let me show you this. Here's what I want to talk about next. Real quick here, I'll just share these with you so you can write them down if you need to. Again, you'll be getting them from me. Okay, there they are. These are the next big killer things to your solos, guys. And I know, here, let me present this. There we go. Sorry about that. There you go. Can you all see that? Vocal and human elements. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. Just give me a yes if you can see these things on your screen, please. That way I know I'm not losing anybody. And Periscope, you've got to let me know if you need a book. You got to let me know. Okay, it's not a book. It's just a little thing I put together, but awesome. Okay, so guys, these are 3 things for you on Periscope. If you're writing these down, the vocal or human elements are bends, vibrato, and slides. Bends, vibrato, and slides. Okay, these 3 things are taken for granted. I remember reading an interview with Eric Clapton one time, and they asked him about practicing. And he said, the only thing I still really practice is bending. He goes, I don't believe you could ever have enough practice in bending. And I totally believe that. Somebody had said earlier, Death Metal Records had said it too, about being in tune. And this is really, really important, guys. When you play, like bending is the mecca of guitar, because bending gives you that human. All of that stuff, those really great. All of that stuff, it's all encompassed in your bending. So it's not a matter of whether you can bend. It's a matter of whether you can bend in a professional manner. It's really, 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 really important to think about it that way. We get so hell-bent on how fast we can play scales or how much theory we know. And again, don't get me wrong, all that stuff goes in that stew and we need it all. Okay? But yep, thank you. Thank you for reminding me it's still on the screen. There we go. So guys, it's all on the screen. So the trick is when you're doing bends, you've got to be able to hear whether or not you're in tune, right? Okay? Bending is absolutely essential to your playing. What happens a lot, that I see a lot with a lot of my students, is that once they start learning how to do this stuff, these bends and all those sorts of things, let's see. You let me know, Matt, when you need that, okay? Or when we should do that, okay? So the trick is being able to do them. Like if you've ever heard, I'm sure you have, David Gilmour. David Gilmour, that son of a gun, has the greatest bends on the face of the frickin' planet, okay? It's just, it's unbelievable, okay? Not everybody bends, okay? Ken just said, Pat Metheny doesn't really do a lot of bending, and that's absolutely true. In my opinion, it gets you one step closer to a singer, okay? When you're playing and you go, I just love the sound of that. Or you go for a really cool, like, Hotel California kind of 3-fret bend, all that stuff, okay? So bending. Vibrato, that's the next step, is learning how to make not these crazy, Gary Moore. Len says Gary Moore, Joe Bonamassa, yes. Carlos Santana, guys, those guys are masters at this stuff. And it's what makes your guitar sing. So it's not just something that you memorize, it's something that you feel, it's something that you have to execute, that's a professional element, okay? So vibrato's the same way. I get some of these people that when they do vibrato, they're doing like this weird phaser quasar thing that goes. It's like, you're shooting space aliens or something. Steve says Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley is one of my favorite guitar players on the planet. And he's always doing these. There's just so many of those really great things that you can do. So vibrato, whether you're doing vibrato with your fingers, whether you're doing it with your whammy bar, there's so many great things that you can do with bending and vibrato. And then real quick, if you got your guitar, I want you to think about this last thing here. Sliding, okay? Sliding. There's two things I want you to think about with sliding. Number one is sliding from somewhere or sliding from nowhere, okay? Sliding from somewhere, sliding from nowhere. So sliding from somewhere means I'm going from 2 to 7. And you can hear the first note and you can hear the second note. The second one is sliding from nowhere, which is what I call an airplane slide, which is when you just slide in from nowhere. So you don't hear a beginning pitch. Okay? Those are really, really important to get comfortable with because you begin and end a lot of phrasing with slides. You know, if I was playing something really melodic, I would totally slide in. I would use that all over the place. And again, in Solo Fire, I talk about all of that stuff. Okay, let's see here. I'm still waiting to hear back from Matt on that. So, Satriani, guys, you guys have a million different great ideas. BB King, amazing, right? Is sustain essential for this technique? Sustain is always good for all of these, okay? Having a good setup guitar, good pickups, you know, a decent tone, all those things really, really, really important to your killer solos, right? All of that stuff. But learning how to do those human elements is really, really important. Slides need to be from up and down. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Okay. You need to, Mark Bain says you need to get the muscle memory down so you can bend to the note you want. That's right. And you got to be able to hear it, right? So when you're playing something, you see, you want to be able to do all of those things all encompassed together. So let's move on again. Let's move on to, let me make sure I finished all that. Okay. Okay. So Matt, this is a good spot because I just finished that. I got a couple more things to give them. So guys, remember what I'm talking about here are the things that you're going to be able to use effectively in your playing to make your solos better. Some of them are smaller, some of them are larger. To be able to develop your technique is going to take a little bit longer. To be able to develop a really good sense of sliding, of vibrato and things, it's just going to take some of your time, right? You just got to spend some time with those sorts of things. So are you ready, Matt? Mattia, are you ready? Okay, perfect. So guys, Dan has put together a little video. If you stay to the end, remember, we've got a bonus for you, and I'm not going to let you go over an hour today because I am very respectful of your time. I'm just very thankful that you're all here. So here's a little video that Dan put together that kind of explains about Solo Fire. So check this out if you're ready there, Matt.
Hey, Dan Denley here, founder of Guitar Zoom and the International Guitar Players Association. This video is different than what you're expecting because it's not a sales pitch. It's just here to help you make a decision. Because I respect you and your time, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm just going to show you what Solo Fire is and what it can do for you. You're going to start out with a side-by-side comparison of Les Paul versus Stratocaster for soloing. Now these are the two most important guitars for lead guitarists, so it's important to know the pros and cons of each. How guitar pickups really work, so you can create your own signature tone that'll set your solos apart. 5 crucial exercises so you can build massive hand and finger strength. A simple way to deaden strings so you have perfect control. How legendary guitarists think so you can create mind-numbing solos from scratch just like them. In Module 2, you'll learn why it's critical to target the root note in your solo. A simple mind trick to visualize your fretboard so you know that it'll sound hot before you even play the first note. How to thread your ideas together so your solo sounds complete. Speed versus feeling and the proper use of each so you can play inspiring solos that are expressive and musical. The MML method that makes creating leads from scratch a slam dunk. You'll get an inside view of what makes a great lead guitar player so you'll know who to study for inspiration and who to avoid, which means you can focus on your practice and you won't have to unlearn any bad habits. In Module 3, you'll learn how a simple lick can be the starting point for a sizzling solo. The two most critical techniques every soloing guitarist needs to know, bends and vibrato. How to effectively play them both so you can eliminate sore fingers and dead notes. The 3 most crucial rock and roll bends so you can play them in your favorite solos on demand. proper hand placement for bends and vibrato so you will always stay in tune. In Module 4, you'll learn how to tap the minor pentatonic scale using your fingers or a pick so you can play a blazing head-turning solo. 4 essential string skipping techniques so you can play spine-tingling arpeggios. A crash course in melodic single-string soloing, which means you'll play eye-popping solos using just one string. In Module 5, you'll learn 3 visualization concepts so you can see which notes to play before your fingers even touch the fretboard. How to use 2-string patterns so you can play smoking hot runs across the entire fretboard. How to create contrast in your playing so you can add color to any solo. 3 simple ways to keep your solo from sounding like a scale. How to keep your mind one step ahead of your fingers so you never run out of ideas or get stuck in the middle of your solo. 7 soul-stirring blues licks so you can play an authentic blues solo in just minutes. And you'll get to trade licks with Steve so you get real-world experience using your new solo skills. In Module 6, you'll discover how to rock like your guitar heroes, how they put it all together and form a complete awe-inspiring solo, so you can start playing with confidence. You'll put it all together by rocking out with Steve over classic rock songs, which means you'll have a blast honing your new solo skills. And you'll get an easy-to-follow plan so you can continue getting better even after you complete the training, so you can reach your goals and always make progress. Now you get 6 modules of step-by-step solo training from Professor Steve Stine, who's known as the world's most sought-after guitar instructor. He's famous for his almost magical ability to quickly help guitarists overcome obstacles and rapidly advance their playing to a level they never dreamed possible, without having to practice long hours, boring drills, or even knowing how to read music. He's literally helped millions of guitarists in over 100 countries, and he holds a bachelor's degree in music education from Minnesota State University. He's played lead guitar in dozens of bands touring the US and the UK, and he's been helping guitarists quickly achieve their goals for over 25 years. He's a featured guest instructor at Guitar World magazine, and just one of his YouTube videos has over 2.1 million views. He's also the distinguished former professor of modern guitar studies at North Dakota State University. The bottom line, Steve is considered the world's leading guitar instructor because his students see real, noticeable improvements in their playing. So let's wrap this up. You get the complete 6-hour Solo Fire course by Steve Stine. You also get the online version free so you can watch it anytime. And all the videos are mobile friendly, which means you can watch them on virtually any mobile device, including your phone, iPad, or tablet. So you can log in and pick up some cool tips and tricks anywhere, anytime, 24/7, whenever it's convenient for you. Plus, if you're one of the first 50 to order today, you also get my Just Enough Theory course, my Rock and Blues Rhythm course, and Steve's Rapid Fire Rock Licks course, plus 12 Solo Fire jam tracks, the complete tab book, and the Quick Start Guide and Progress Tracker, 10 Southern Blues jams, and my Guitar Scale Mastery course. Plus, you get unlimited access to the GuitarZoom private Facebook community with over 5,000 active members, so you'll never be alone in your guitar playing journey, and you'll always have the support of the entire GuitarZoom family. So here's everything you get. The 6-hour Solo Fire course by Steve Stine, the Just Enough Theory course, Rock and Blues Rhythms, Rapid Fire Rock Licks, 12 Solo Fire jam tracks, the complete tab book, the Quick Start Guide and Progress Tracker, 10 Southern Blues jams, Guitar Scale Mastery, and lifetime access to the private Facebook group, a grand total $959 value. Of course, at $959, we realize that a lot of people will get left out. So you won't pay even half that, not $400, not $300, not even $200. Your investment for the entire Solo Fire course is only 3 payments of $39. That's less than 1 trip to the grocery store. And of course, you're covered by a 60-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee, which means if you're not happy, just let us know for a fast, friendly refund. No receipt required. So if your gut is saying, yes, this will help you, then listen to it. Get your copy of SoloFire now so you can secure all the bonuses and the discounted price, because the fast action bonuses and discount expire soon. Plus, you can't get better if you keep doing the same old things over and over again. Click the button on your screen now to get started.
Good to see ya. Okay, chat. There we go. Everybody there? Can you hear me again, everybody? Awesome. Let me go over here for a second while you guys are letting me know if you can see me okay. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Glad you guys are there. Okay, so we left off. Hopefully you got some idea of what SoloFire is about. There's a lot of stuff in there. Okay. There's a lot of stuff. And again, SoloFire might be for some of you. SoloFire might not be for some of you, but it's available. Okay. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with some ideas. We're going to keep going with our section 3 there, our tip number 3. We're going to be moving on to, let's see here. The tricks, we're still doing licks and tricks, but I want to show you some ideas of tricks and techniques that you can use, okay? So what we want to think about now is this. Let me share my screen if I can find it. There we go. All right, here we go. I'll share it quick, and then I promise I'll shut it off, or one of you will tell me to shut it off because you're good like that. Okay, there we go. Guitar tricks and techniques, okay? So guitar tricks, this is also in SoloFire. We talk about these sorts of things too, but learning how to move or maneuver around your fretboard in unique ways, right? Instead of just moving up and down inside a scale and using the X and Y axis, which we do certainly need. We want to learn how to do all those kind of things, but learning how to play, like I was just telling the periscopers, intervallic playing for me is huge, because instead of just going up and down a scale, whenever I go up or down a scale, what happens is I tend to start playing fast. That's what I do, okay? So what I like to do is I like to shake things around by playing intervallically. So I'll do all kinds of different patterns. Okay, so let me shut that off because somebody's kind enough to tell me, right? So let's just take something here. Let's just take and build kind of a Eric Johnson-y pattern, okay? So y'all got your guitar, right? Let's get ready. Let's do this. We're going to go to the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and we're going to create kind of an ostinato pattern, okay? What we're going to do here, okay, find that 12th fret. Has everybody got their guitar? Okay. So what I want you to do now, you're on the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 15th fret of the 1st string. Okay, and then we're going to go 12 to 14 on the 1st string. Awesome. Okay, then we're going to go to 12 on the 1st string. Okay, so you're playing 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 12. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 2nd string. We're going to keep playing that same 12 on the 3rd string. And on the 2nd string, we're going to play 15, 13, and 12. So we have 15, 14, 12, 15, 13, 12, with a 12 on the 3rd string in between each one of those notes. See, things like that. That's an intervallic idea. It's really fun. It changes things up a little bit. It does sound a little bit like Slash. Thank you, Randy. I mean, there's just a ton of really neat things like that, where when you stop just thinking about things moving up and down, all of a sudden you've got some really creative stuff that you can do with repetition. Okay, that for me is what intervallic playing is. Okay, so now what we're going to do, yep, pedal tone is on the 12th fret. Yep, on the 3rd string. Okay, now let's try something more of a string skipping idea. Okay, I'll show you a little trick that you can do here real quick. Okay, and again, we talk about this stuff in SoloFire. I show you all about this stuff, but what we're going to do is go to the 12th fret of the 4th string this time. Okay, now that note that I'm playing right there is a D. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play the 4th fret or excuse me, the 4th string 12th fret. And then we're going to go to the 3rd string 11th fret. And then we're going to go to the 14th fret of the 3rd string as well. Okay, now you should hear right there that I'm playing the triad, if you know what a triad is. I'm playing the root, the 3rd, and the 5th of a D major chord. Yep, the 12 on the 3rd string would be called a pedal tone. A pedal note, you can call it. Usually we call it a pedal tone. Okay, so right there I've got myself a little mini arpeggio. I'm playing 12 on the 4th string, 11 on the 3rd string, and then 14 on the 3rd string as well. Now, what's really neat about what you're doing right here, guys, is you can move this wherever you want if you know your notes on the 4th string. So if you wanted to play a B major, you could simply move down to the note B on the 4th string and play the exact same thing. Or if you want to play a G major, you could move down to G on the 4th string. So it's movable wherever you want to go, right? Now let's finish this up with something cool. We're going to get into that string skipping thing I was just telling you about. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go 12 like we did, 11 like we did, 14 like we did. But now what we're going to do is we're going to skip over the 2nd string. We're going to go to the 1st string at the 10th fret and the 14th fret. So I have... you can pick this, you can hammer these, you can use pull-offs, you can do whatever you want, okay? So... And all I need to know about this is that I'm on this note right here, which is a D, okay? If I wanted to play this on B, I'd move it down to the 9th fret of the 4th string and do exactly the same thing. Which is really nice. If somebody's playing, you go, or they're playing a chord progression, they're going B, 10. So now you're going. You can follow them wherever you want to go. It's really cool, okay? So try that for just a minute here. Okay, let's see here. This says, the attendee webinar bonus, you guys will click on the link that popped out and go to the webinar attendee bonus. Does everybody, it's all the way down on the bottom of the page at the end here. So we'll make sure that you guys can see that, okay? We'll make sure that it's available to you, that webinar bonus, okay? Ricky Rocket? Dan says, you're so fast the screen can't keep up. You are really funny, okay? Yeah, guys, this technique that I'm showing you right now, these are used in lots of people have mentioned Zach Wilde and they've mentioned Paul Gilbert. Lots of people use these. Like if you add on a tap, all of a sudden you've got yourself Nuno Bettencourt. Let's see. There it is. Right? From, I think it's from Get the Funk Out. I don't remember which one it is. But those are all different things, okay? All those guys use these sorts of techniques. So it's a really fun thing for you to do. In Solo Fire, we're going to be talking about tapping. We're going to be talking about one last thing I want to make sure I get to you before we finish today. I'm going to tell you about the other two categories. But if you don't know a lot about your modes, okay, here's what I want you to think about. When you're in pentatonic, what I want you to think about is wherever your root is. I'm in the key of A minor pentatonic right now. So my A is right here. If I go up a whole step and add this note into my pentatonic, it's called the 9th. Again, we're not going to get into the theory why. That's in Solo Fire, and you can learn all about it. But adding that one note in to your pentatonic makes a huge difference in your playing, because now all of a sudden, for the first time, you've got yourself a half step. So even if you just added it on the first string there, so I'm playing an A minor, so you can try this too. I'm playing 5, 8 normally. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in that 7. And I can still use the pentatonic as it was, just adding in that one spot. Now, needless to say, that 9th is located all over the place on the guitar. But for now, for you to start elevating your playing, and again, whether you buy Solo Fire or not, that's a great little technique for you to practice. just adding that in. And another nice thing about that 7 to 8 right there, that half step, is you can bend that 7. It's just really, really cool how you can all of a sudden transform your playing just by adding one little thing into there and then learning again how to master it, how to utilize it in your playing, okay? It's really cool. So now moving on to trick number 4, feel the music, okay? Feel the music. This is rhythm. It's not just scales and techniques and bending and blah, 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 but it's learning how to respond to the music. As the Doobie Brothers said, listen to the music. This is something that took me years to learn how to do because I was so busy thinking in my head that I wasn't listening to the music. I always call it playing over the top. The music's going and you're playing, but you're disconnected. There's space in between what's happening musically and what you're doing. There are 2 different things happening. You want to learn to take that plane in and land it. So all of a sudden that music and you are interacting with each other. There's something real happening there. Okay, that's called phrasing, and it's really, really important to get comfortable with what is phrasing. What do we need to think about? You know, I teach you in SoloFire, I talk a lot about what's called dynamic contrast, which is if you're playing low, play high. If you're playing fast, play slow. If you're playing long, play short, right? If you're playing pentatonic, play diatonic. If you're playing whatever it might be, if you're playing licks, stop playing licks. Okay, it's just contrast, learning how to shake things up to make it interesting. Just like, you know, when you talk to somebody or teaching a class or whatever it might be, you got to make it interesting. Okay, you can't just sit there and go Bueller, 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 right? Because it gets freaking boring after a while. So that's the trick with phrasing, with feeling the groove and listening to the music, is you've got to be able to listen to that music and correspond to it, respond to what's happening. And there's all kinds of different ways that we do that. And then finally, the last one I want to get to is jamming in the real world. And this is really fun. And I want to make sure that you get this before you leave today. So again, if I'm encouraging you, if you think SoloFire is something that you want, I want you to check it out. If you don't think it's something you want, or you already have it or something, these tips are still going to help you. Okay. So let me share my screen with you, and I'm going to have to share it for just a little while here so you guys can all see this. And again, you're going to be getting this from me in just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So screen share, here we go. So right here, can you all see that pretty good? Let me know if you can see that, okay? Okay, let me know if you can see that screen. The real world soloing chart. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, John. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, guys. Okay, awesome. Okay, I don't know if I can make that any bigger. Let me try and make it a little bigger. Does that help a little bit, maybe? That's all I got there because I'm going to start going off the screen. Okay, so right there, what we've got, everybody, is the real world soloing chart, okay? And what this does is it encompasses both logic with rock and roll illogic. And I just wanted to leave you with this. So when you go playing over things, you've got a little bit of a chart that you can utilize. Okay, hopefully you can still see me. I'm not sure what happened to my screen, but can you all still hear me or see me? Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's keep going here. So in this thing, we've got 3 different categories. We've got the major side of the world, which is blue. We've got the minor side of the world, which is yellow. I probably should have switched those around. Minor should have been blue. Okay? And then in the middle, you've got the crossover. Okay? So on the major side of things, this is where you're going to be using major scales, okay? Any major key song, like if I was playing... Let me go to a different sound here. A little bit less distortion there. Right? Anybody recognize that song? You don't need to see me playing, not yet. Just anybody recognize that song? Hey, Steve gets it. Dan gets it. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Okay. So any song that's in a major key, that's, you know, Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, it could be a million different things, right? Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I mean, whatever it is. And I'll get back to me in just a second. I want you guys to look at this. Okay. So whenever you're in an authentically major key song, you're going to use major pentatonic or the mode that's appropriate for that song. Now, again, we're not going to get into modes right now. Folk music and country music fall very well into this category, as well as songs that are just major key based. Okay. Now let's go over to the minor side for a second. Now, the minor side, you've got any song that's in a minor key, right? You guys can't see me, but I'm going to go back and play something. I'm going to see if you guys, anybody knows this, okay? This is way back. Anybody know that one? Nope, not Bad Company. Man, I don't know that anybody will get this. Vandenberg. Ed got it. Yes. It's Burning Heart by Vandenberg. Steve got it. So awesome. Yeah. Vandenberg, Colin said it. Yeah. Okay, so that's a minor. That is totally minor right there. Yep, you can't see me yet. I'll come back in just a second. Okay? So that's a minor key song. So any song that's really in minor, again, we'd use minor pentatonic or something that's modal appropriate. And again, don't worry about modes right now, okay? But I'm just telling you, you can use this chart for the rest of your life. You can kind of use this to help you out, okay? Metal uses minor pentatonic, uses modes, uses exotic scales, all kinds of different things. But let's get to that crossover in the middle, guys, and then I'll come back to me so you can see me, okay? The crossover. Minor blues. When you're playing minor blues, you really are in a minor key. You're using everything about minor. Minor pentatonic. You're using the Aeolian or natural minor mode. If you know that, that's what you'd be using if you were playing minor blues, true minor blues. 90% of the time, though, we are using major blues. That's what we normally play, is major blues. Now, what's so bizarre about major blues is that major blues can use both major pentatonic and minor pentatonic at the same time. Okay, that's what makes rock and roll is the fact that you can play in a major key and you can solo minor over the top, which makes no frickin' sense at all. But when you do it, it sounds like rock and roll. It sounds like blues. Okay, so I'm going to go back to me, but you're going to be getting a copy of this, guys. You're going to be getting a copy of this chart that I made, and that should help you a little bit in going, okay, well, if I'm going to solo over this particular song, this is what I should be using. So you see on the two sides, the major and the minor, they're a little bit more logical, but rock and roll and blues, and I was explaining that to the periscopers, to the scopers out there earlier today. Like when you hear a song, one of my favorite songs on the planet, and I don't know why, but it's Can't You See by Marshall Tucker. Okay. Well, I know why, because it's a great song. But anyway, so it goes like this. It goes D, C, G, D. Now, when most people would solo over the top of that, they're going to use D major of some sort. D major pentatonic maybe, right? Whatever it might be. So the end of the song comes, and now all of a sudden you're double timing it, right? Okay. That's great. Death Metal says, funny, I said that's a great song, then you did. So at the end of the song, let's say we're playing this live, right? And all of a sudden our drummer's going double time. So we're going. Now we throw in our theory of rock and roll. We're in a major key. Absolutely. But we start playing minor pentatonic at the end of this thing. And we start jamming in minor pentatonic, which makes no frickin' sense whatsoever. But when we do, it sounds like rock and roll. It sounds like Aerosmith. It sounds like, Skid Row. It sounds like Guns N' Roses. It sounds like the Stones, those kind of things. Those guys are going to do that stuff. Okay. So it makes no logical sense, but it sounds like rock and roll. So guys, make sure that to get the additional bonus, let's see. Also let them know that the masterclass students get an additional bonus by entering the promo code at checkout, and they will get this in their email after the webinar is done. So if you're a masterclass student, you're going to be getting a promo code that you can use to help you out and get you a discount. So that's awesome. So Matt, you're out there. I can see your chats there. Is there anything I'm missing? Okay. Guys, did you enjoy the webinar? Did you learn something? Okay. Hey, Dan, if you already purchased without the promo code, it's okay. Get a hold of tech support and we're going to help you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll help you out. Okay. If you're already a masterclass student, don't worry about it. We'll get you taken care of. Okay. So guys, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned some stuff that you're going to be able to use. If you find that SoloFire is going to work for you, I think I locked up. Let's see. Well, hopefully you can all see me. My computer is having a bad day. So, but anyway, if you find that SoloFire is going to work for you, please take a look at it. Please purchase it. And if you have any problems with it or you find it's not your thing, we'll return the money to you. It's no big deal. And if it's something that you already own or you're just not really interested in right now, it's no sweat, okay? Take the information I've given you right now and learn from it. And if you have some other questions or some other paths that you need to go on with your guitar playing, we're here for you guys. So that's so awesome. Thank you. I'm getting such nice comments here. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed yourself. And I'm so glad that you learned something. So anyway, yep, everybody take care. How long does this keep running after I hang up? Matt, does this keep going for a while? We can see you, just stop broadcast. Okay, so we'll just keep going. So guys, everybody take care and practice hard, stay positive, help people out. Join the Guitar Zoom community Facebook page if you haven't already, and just find some stuff. If you are on this call, we're going to be emailing you all of those charts that I just showed you. There's a lot more stuff on there that I showed you, but you're going to get all of that stuff. Okay. No, it wasn't Skid Row. It was Adrian Vandenberg. He had a band called Vandenberg, and the song was called Burning Heart. So thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Chris. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Wolfgang. Thank you, Jack, Ken, Captain Tom. Thank you, guys. God bless you too, Captain Tom. Everybody take care, and I'll speak to you real soon, okay? Stay in touch. I'm always here. Paul, I am going to go eat pizza. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Take care.